Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Easy Cooking with Papa D at the train in Fordsburg, Johannesburg. Today I'm going to prepare something for people who are more health conscious. I've got two variations that you would be able to use for this dish, and to bring to your attention very quickly, I'll be using a Philips air fryer. So for all those who are averse to fried food, this is your answer. But what I'll be doing in here is I'm going to use this to prepare my veg as the side dish, which I will coat slightly in olive oil and then put into the air fryer. And then with that, I'll be serving a chicken fillet aubergine. So it's chicken aubergine. For that, I'll be using aubergines, which will also, you could either do in the air fryer, or you could pan fry or deep fry as you like. So to run through the ingredients quickly, I've got some breadcrumbs here, fish spice, coarse black pepper. I'm going to be using a jalapeno sauce or a jalapeno sauce to serve with the dish, regular salt, and then some paprika for color and taste in the breading. So firstly, let's start off by preparing our veggies, and then I'm going to put them into the air fryer. While they're cooking, we can then start with the rest of our order. There's one bit of advice I'd like to give you. If you take your aubergine, you'll find even if you're frying them, usually as an accompaniment with your curry khichdi or whatever, and when you fry them, they become all soggy and soft. Now here's a bit of a tip for you. What I've done is, before I've started this meal, I've actually cut a slice and show you what's happened to this. If you notice carefully, there's juices dripping out of this, right? You'll notice the blackish juice that comes out. So all that juice has already been removed from the aubergine, which makes it much firmer and drier. So if you do any frying or anything with it, start off this way. But if the way to do this is to sprinkle it with salt and leave it for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you'll find that the juices will now start releasing. So I'm going to be using this one here for my dish. It's already got salt on it. But if you are using it at home and you're using another preparation, just remember to wash it off slightly so you don't have too much salt. So I'm going to go ahead with this and leave it aside here, because I'm going to do this in the pan. To begin with, in the air fryer, I'm going to put in all my vegetables. I want to have them as chunky vegetables. So I've got my carrots. Obviously, you could use whichever veggies you like. Some onions. Baby marrows are my favorite. You'll probably notice I use them wherever I can, because they cook so quickly and they really are a nice accompaniment to any dish. You could also use red peppers if you want a little more color. And then, of course, I'm going to put in my mushrooms. I'm going to lightly drizzle this with the fish spice. You'll notice I'm using fish spice in this dish as well, because I don't want it to be overwhelmed by too many spices. Once there are too many spices, they actually kill the original flavor of your dish. So this one's quite neutral, and there we have it. In that, I don't want it too dry. You could use it just like this in the air fryer, but then it's up to you if you would like your veggies really dry and roasted. But I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this, because this will actually enhance the cooking. You'll have a nicer look to it as well when it's done. The other nice thing about this machine is that even if you've used it for the first time, you need not panic, because you can open the machine while it's running. So there's no fear of losing temperature or anything else. And I'm now going to place my veggies in here. I prefer cooking at a slightly lower temperature, but for a little longer. So instead of using it at 200, I'm going to use the machine at 180. This has a nice interface. What I'll do is perhaps let's put it at 5 minutes initially. Now while that's happening, I'm adding some coarse black pepper there. A little bit of salt. Flour in itself doesn't require too much salt, so just be careful. And then for that little bite and a bit of color, I'm using some paprika in here. You could use a strong red chili as well if you like. And this breading could work for most coatings. You could use it on your chicken, you could use it on vegetables, whatever you like, even on fish for that matter. I'm going to use the egg here. Add a bit of milk to that. Not too much milk because I don't want it too runny. And I'm just going to whisk that up quickly. Right now, I'll take the aubergine first into flour, plain flour. I've also removed the excess salt from there. I'm now going to put it into the egg wash. And then place it into my egg breading, into my breading. Now, you could do this as well in the air fryer, but for this dish, I'm going to just give it a light fry in the pan. But before I do that, I could actually do this simultaneously. I'm actually going to prepare my chicken as well. So the chicken I've butterflied slightly. I don't want it too thick, but I also don't want it too thin. The advantage of doing this meal in a pan or to sort of pan grill it seals in the moisture. So even though it's cooked, it's still moist on the inside. Obviously you could do this on an open fire, and just as well you could do this in the air griller. So if you're on a diet and you absolutely do not want to have any oils or fats, then go for it and do this in the air fryer as well. On this, I'm just going to rub on some chicken spice. Again, as I've said, I'm using chicken spice because I want to keep the taste quite neutral. I don't want any overwhelming spice flavor. And also, I'm going to finish it off with the jalapeno sauce. So that's why I need to keep the chicken tasting like chicken. And then, of course, you will get the added flavor from the jalapeno sauce and the cheese that will come on at the end of the meal. There we are. That's ready. The aubergines are ready. And so now I can start cooking. In that time, 5 minutes have already elapsed. And let's see how the veggies are doing in here. They've cooked through quite nicely so far, but I need to now cook it further. I'm going to cook it for another 5 minutes, but now on 200. So I'll increase the temperature to 200 and put it for another 5 minutes. Or 6 minutes is fine, and let's go. Get the fire going. So now I'm just going to get the fire going quickly. Add some olive oil. I'm going to add a little bit more because I'm going to be frying 2 items at this time. Not too much oil. Bismillah. And now you could actually deep fry your aubergine as well. So that's actually just a matter of choice. But you could deep fry the aubergine, and if you like, you could air fry it as well. I'm getting a nice sizzle. And this cooking process shouldn't take more than 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how well you want your chicken done. But 5 minutes maximum, this should be done. You'll notice the meat is halfway cooked through already. So it just shows you how quickly it cooks. I'm just going to flip the aubergine over as well. Okay, so here we have it. I've just managed to turn the aubergine over and the chicken, and you can see how nicely it's sealed, and the color is perfect and the texture is perfect. One more thing you'll notice, the aubergine has got a lot of body, so it's not limp, and that's due to the fact that we extracted most of the moisture from it. Now I'm going to take this to the next step. In the meantime, our veggies have already cooked through. I'm going to remove them here now. So if you really look at it, I've done this for 10 minutes totally. So that's our grilled veggies that are going to be served on the side. I've only topped it with a little bit of olive oil and chicken spice. Right, so what I'm going to do now is to finish this meal off. I'm putting my aubergine at the bottom. I'm going to top it. I'm going to top it with the chicken. And then, to finish it off, I'm adding some jalapeno sauce. Not too much jalapeno, or jalapeno to the way you like it. And then I'm going to finish it off with the mozzarella and cheddar cheese. Now you could bake this in your regular oven, but it means getting the thing up, get it running, takes forever to do all that, and then finally you put one piece of chicken or two pieces of chicken in, and so much time has lapsed. So I'm going to do this quickly in the air fryer, just putting it in here. As I've mentioned, you can open and check, so there's no worry about that. And then close it up. I'm going to leave it at 200 because obviously I want it to grill and melt the cheese very quickly. I'm putting it initially at 200. I'm putting for about 2 minutes, but I will be keeping an eye on it because I don't want it to burn, or I don't want it to melt down too much. I would say 1 minute should do the trick initially, and then we can check thereafter. Because my fryer is already preheated, so it shouldn't take too much time for the cheese to melt. And then we can prepare to serve it to you. You'll notice the veggies have also browned quite nicely. They're still quite crisp. They haven't lost their moisture too much. But then you know it's 100% perfect for the dieter. Alright, my air fryer is done. As you can remember, initially I put it in for a minute, but then I extended it for another minute. So I did it for 2 minutes at 200 degrees. And that's the result of it. You'll notice the cheese has melted over nicely. I didn't want it melted too much where it would spill over and make it difficult to serve. So now I've got the cheese on top of the chicken, and of course we've got the aubergine at the bottom. So we're going to serve this now with grilled vegetables and jalapeno sauce. There we are, and now we're going to serve. So here we have it, our chicken aubergine topped with mozzarella and cheddar cheese and served with air-fried vegetables, the healthy way. And for that you need to get one of these Philips air fryers, which is very versatile. You can even bake in it. And somewhere later in the program I'd show you how when your mother-in-law springs up on you when you don't expect her at least, and serve her hot tarts with a masala chai. A special masala chai. For today, that's all from us. And until we see you again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.